Well, hello there and welcome back to this F1 2017 Sauber career mode. We're at round 8, I think it is, at Baku in Azerbaijan. And unfortunately, we've got the race to do now. Usually I do a quick show of the qualifying and the practice and then obviously go on to the race. Unfortunately, I was doing qualifying earlier, done my intro like I normally do for these videos, then halfway through Q2, the game crashed, which meant now I also lost my current recording session as well. So I've had to come back onto the game, complete qualifying and then start recording from here. So I'll give you a quick update of what I've done around here, the practice and the qualifying. We'll start with qualifying, because that's the most important thing. Unfortunately, in Q1, I managed to get through. I set the 10th best time on the super soft tyres. Then in Q2, on my second flying run, I accidentally hit the wall on the exit of turn 3 at the end of the back straight and DNF'd. So we ended up the session in 15th place. Because of that, I have decided to purchase a 5th unit of everything because we needed to do it. Last season I did it at Monaco because we qualified at the back, but we had a good qualifying there, so I didn't. So I said to myself, right, once we have a poor qualifying session, I will order the 5th units because we will need them. So I've done that now, which means we will be at the back of the grid, and I've put on the units number 3 for this race because I use these just for the race in Canada. And I've also ordered a 5th gearbox as well and immediately put on the 3rd one as well. So 0% on the gearbox, and all these units here are less than 10%, so we've got some good pace underneath us. Now from qualifying back to the practice sessions, they went well, all got purple in everything, got the maximum amount of resource points needed. And now for the RNG tree, of course we are onto the chassis, as you already know. Next week, hopefully the major one of this will come in, which should put us ahead of Ferrari, and I should, as long as the race goes okay, get at least 60 resource points to afford the minor upgrade as well. So hopefully we can get both done at the same time. If both of these do come in for the next race, which I believe will be Austria, that should put us ahead of Ferrari in the chassis performance comparison, which means we'll be the best team in the chassis. And then after that we'll just have one more major upgrade to do, and then we've just got to wait for the ultimates, which I won't do until we manage to unlock 20 of the classic car events, and so far we've done 14, so it might be a while. It might be into season 4 before we get the ultimate upgrades done, but the plan is get these 2 done here, and then in a couple of weeks get that final major one done, and then we'll move on to the powertrain and start chipping away at all these, and it shouldn't take too long to get these done. Hopefully by the end of the season we'll have all the minor and majors, and then we can focus on getting the aero bits cheaper before moving on with this. So that's pretty much a complete roundup of everything then. So we'll exit the laptop and listen to our race objectives. Hopefully they've taken the fact that we're going to have a lot of grid penalties into account, because we were expected to start 15th. Yeah, finished the race in 17th, so we'll be starting at the back, which means that we can choose pretty much whatever strategy we want. There was a bit of rain towards the end of Q3 in qualifying, but obviously it doesn't affect us. I believe the race will be completely dry. So we've got a free choice of tyres starting at the back, and we do have the pace of just in and around the top 10 as well. So the first few laps should be quite interesting, getting past the slower cars. So we'll go to the track then, have a look at the race strategy and see what we can do with all the new bits on the car, starting from 20th and last.
Exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Ocon, Grosjean, Perez, Hulkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, Kvyat, Sainz, Felipe Massa and Magnussen, Alonso, Palmer, Lance Stroll and Pascal Wehrlein. Van Dorn and a Sauber rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So then the race strategy screen telling us that we can do super soft onto soft. We'll bump the fuel up because I'm going to need as much as possible. I'm tempted to go all the way to the top. 31.4, which is 5.4. We'll do 5 laps of extra fuel. Let's have a look at the difference here. So there's a 9-second difference between the 1 stop and the 2 stop. The weather forecast is going to be nice and sunny throughout, so no worries of that. Starting on the supers, going on to the softs. I'm going to change that and start on the softs and go on to the supers and pit around 15 on the softs, 11 on the supers. Yeah, that sounds okay. Mandatory tyre as well, the softs and the mediums. So we'll start on the softs, that's fine. 5 laps worth of extra fuel. We're going to need a bit of a boost, to be honest, in this race. Hopefully we can make up a few good positions at the start. I want to kind of end lap 1 in about at least 12th or 13th place, and then we can try to hold on to the guys just on the edge of the top 10, and then maybe do a nice overcut once they pit off to their supers. So we'll do the formation lap then, and then we'll get this race on the go. So here we are then on the grid. I don't know if I'm the only one starting on the softs, but it shouldn't matter. Build the revs, 5 lights, and away we go. Let's pray for a clean first lap. We're going to need it. Squeezing with Stroll on the exit of turn 1. Now into 2. We're going to take our time getting through this lot. Switch back on Verline, 17th place already. So we're completing lap 1. We should be able to get past Alonso pretty quickly. Sauber versus McLaren, still no match even into season 3. So we'll end lap 1 in 16th. Not as good as I wanted, but I'm just going to pick my way through this field. It's not easy. So end of lap 2, we've dropped Alonso and Co behind us. And now we're creeping on these guys ahead of us. Might fancy a move on Sainz into turn 1. Wasn't close enough, but DRS has now been enabled on lap 3, so it should now get quite interesting for us. It's all about picking our moments, unfortunately. We can't just make any rash decisions I should say, because the last thing I want to do is damage my wing early on. We do have great top end speed. Look at this, Sainz is getting a toe ahead, but so are we. Defends the inside a little bit, so oh, that was close. We'll go on the outside. 15th place. So we've got good speed down the straights, which is always nice to have. So next up is Palmer, ending lap 4. Let's see if we can get close to him. DRS opens now. We are gaining all the time. Oh, we left it late. Squeezed him out. That's P14. Creeping up the order. Ah, just tagged the back of Massa. Look at that. Damaged the wing. How bad is it going to be through here? Oh, it's bad. Right, we're going to pit now to fix our wing. Put on a set of medium tyres. So this might be a very lonely race. So back out the pits on a set of medium tyres. This may be a very boring race and a very short episode for everyone. Oh, I'm in the wall again. Oh, and we're out as well, trying to do a 3-point turn. Well, thank God this episode is over, because this was turning into an absolute horror show. Yeah, so that was a bit of a horror show, really. We was doing alright in the first few laps, and unfortunately I tagged Massa at turn 15, damaged the wing. Made a pit stop, went onto the mediums, felt quite comfortable in them. I was catching Van Dorn by about 2.5 seconds a lap, and we were sort of keeping pace with the leaders, believe it or not, as well, as their supers started to go off. But yeah, clipped the wall there on the exit, spun the car around into the wall, then tried to do a 3-point turn, and that determinedly DNF'd me, unfortunately, which is well, you know, I mean, I wasn't really going to get much out of this race, unfortunately, which is a shame, because, you know, good points could have been had today, considering our practice pace. But Vettel's held on to take the win, 2 seconds ahead of Hamilton, with Bottas in third. Top 10, Raikkonen as well for the second Ferrari. Both Force Indias, Red Bulls and Haas cars score. And then all the way down the bottom, we were the only retirement apparently. And yeah, so less said about this race, the better. So the resource points for the race, it's going to be low, but hopefully we'll get over 600. We should do now. Look, see the practice session there, 34 points. We really did do very well, but we managed to hit at least 600. The reputation with all the teams has now gone down quite a lot, but that's fine. I don't really mind too much because I will be staying with Sauber for the foreseeable future. But we're now only halfway in that purple. The career score for the weekend started off well, and then it's just got worse and worse as the week has gone on. I definitely won't hit 10,000 this time, 9,000 at least, so it could have been a lot worse, but yeah, we definitely could have had about well over 10,000 for that, but that's such is life. We've got no classic car events, so the first thing we'll do then is obviously go into the R&D tree. Right, okay, so we know that next week, or let's say the next race I should say, Austria, we should have this, hopefully will come in. We're now going to spend another 600 on this minor upgrade as well, so both of these should come in next week, and if they do, it should comfortably put us ahead of Ferrari, and then all we've got to do is one more major upgrade at 900 credits, which we should be able to get within 2 races, and then that'll be the chassis done. Because it's going to be a while until we do the ultimate. I'm not going to pay to wait 6 weeks. I'll wait until I can get it for 3 weeks. So then after that, we'll then move on to the powertrain and get the aero a bit cheaper as well. Not much else to look at. I'll change all this round to probably, well, unit number 1 are pretty much now dead. Because I'm now struggling, I had to really push in the practice sessions at Baku with units number 1 to achieve all my targets, so I might do these, put these on for like maybe FP1 or something when I do a track acclimatization, because that doesn't need outright pace, just needs to keep it clean. So I'll change on to unit number 2 then for the practice sessions from now on, and then use unit number 3s for the races. Not much else to say then, unfortunately. We remain in 9th in the championship. I didn't show you after the race, unfortunately, so I'll do that now. Bottas then 3 points ahead of Vettel, Hamilton 20 back, Raikkonen 21, and then we've got the Red Bulls with Ricciardo and Verstappen, Perez, Ocon, and then ourselves in 9th, just 1 point ahead of Grosjean. 3 drivers yet to score: Stroll, Verline and Van Dorn. In the constructors, Mercedes hold a 4-point lead over Ferrari. Excuse me. Red Bull safe in 3rd, Force India safe in 4th, and I think there might be a good battle between Renault, Haas and ourselves for 5th, 6th and 7th. Toro Rosso only 8 points so far, and McLaren remain ahead of Williams in 9th. So not much else to really talk about then. The race, yeah, we'll forget about that and just move on to the next one. That's now I think our 3rd retirement in 8 races already in season 3. So some races we've got really good pace and we're challenging for podiums and wins, like in Canada, and then other races, well, like Canada as well, we're failing to finish. It's a challenge doing this. With the full qualifying, it's not so much a challenge, it's quite fun. You get more resource points for it as well, so I'm all for that. The race, however, you do really need to, rely on a bit of speed and skill rather than blind luck. A mid-race change of weather or safety car could really turn the race upside down. In the 50% races, you really have to focus and think ahead, 10, 15 laps in the future where you're going to be. And I quite like that. You've got to continually think what you're doing. So it's going to be quite a short episode, unfortunately, this for Baku. But hopefully next time out at Austria, we'll have a bit more luck. So thank you very much for watching if you have, and hopefully I'll see you all for the next one very soon.